Hi, I'm James Harbeck. For today's pronunciation tip, I want to come to a decision on something that was a point of division between me and my mother in my youth over who was in error on certain pronunciations. As it happens, I was visiting my parents last week, so I took the opportunity to raise the subject with my mom over supper. When I was a child, I pronounced these as decisive, divisive, and and every time I said decisive, my mother would say
decisive,
and every time I said divisive, my mother would say
divisive,
and every time I said she would say How's that again?
decisive, divisive, My mother was an English teacher, and she always told me it really aggravated her that everybody said because the word is
As it happened, we had my friends Elaine and Robin from South Africa, well, they live in Canada now, but over for supper, and so I asked them and my dad how they all pronounce it.
Decisive, divisive,
Decisive, divisive,
Copycat.
Aha.
Decisive, divisive,
Now you can see how my youthful brain was working on this, right? Decision, decisive, division, divisive, error. Makes perfect sense. Now, of course, on the other hand, decide, decisive, divide, divisive. I got nothing for I don't know where it comes from. But I looked in 3 dictionaries to see what they said. I looked in the ITP Nelson, which is a Canadian dictionary, now out of print, alas. I looked in Merriam-Webster, an American dictionary, and I looked in the Oxford English Dictionary, which is, of course, British, but also has American pronunciation guidance for the benighted colonials. On the subject of the first word, they were all decisive. Yes, decisive. They agreed, not decisive, decisive. So that's decided. On the subject of the second word, it was more, well, 2 of the 3 would say divisive, but the Merriam-Webster would say divisive or divisive or divisive. All 3 pronunciations are allowed by Merriam-Webster, documented the way you can say it. So you could say it any of those ways. For myself, left to my own divisives, I still prefer divisive because, well, divisive sounds like devices, and I have enough devices. It's a bit of a divisive subject for some people, in fact. As for the third one, they all agreed it is or That's right, you can say or you can say Either one is fine. Only the Oxford English Dictionary gave both pronunciations only for the benighted colonials. For proper English people, it allowed only I believe, sir, you are in error. I really would have to do a lot of research on exactly why it came to be instead of especially when we say error. But there it is. That also indicates that is historically the prior pronunciation. Doesn't matter, you can still say either. By the way, for the curious though, my English teacher grandmother was not British, not slightly. She was as American as they come. She was a teacher in Western New York, and she would have said decisive, divisive, and And that is that. So it's your choice. Do you wish to follow her dictates to the letter? You may, if you wish. But if you want to go my way, well, on the first matter, it's decisive, but on the second one, it's divisive. And, to err is human. So, worry less about it. And that's my pronunciation tip for today. Thanks.